know what you're thinking. You've always loved photography and now you want to try it out for yourself. But where do you start? It doesn't start with having a nice camera, though that definitely helps. It starts with you. You'll often hear that it's not the camera, it's the person behind the camera that makes good photographs, and this is true. Let's take a look at some things you need to be aware of when trying to make your way as an amateur photographer. One of the basic things to know about photography is the rule of thirds. If you split a photograph into 3 rows and 3 columns, your points of interest should be at the intersect points. This is an easy and effective way to get a viewer interested in looking closer at your photograph. Another thing to remember about photography, lines. You can use horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and curved lines to add interest to your photograph. Each line type can represent something different. For example, horizontal lines give a feeling of restfulness. Diagonal lines give a feeling of action, intensity, or motion. And they don't have to be physical lines either. It can be an implied line so that the viewer follows an imaginary line through the photograph. One of the most important things when it comes to photography is knowing how to use your camera. Read through the manual and figure out the settings. Play around with them. Figure out what they do so you'll be prepared in the future to use them. Photography is about doing something you like and having fun while you do it. Since photography and cameras are all about capturing light, it's also important to know how exposure works. Shutter speed and aperture are a photographer's bread and butter. Learn how to use them effectively. It is possible to fix some mistakes after you've already taken the picture, but it's much easier to get it right the first time in the camera. No matter what your art background is, you can always get better at recognizing a good scene. Practice, practice, practice. This is key to getting better at anything, and it isn't any different with photography. And now you have some basic things to look for when out and about with your camera. So go on, have some fun already.